Hello, Introduction to Animal Science class, and welcome to my project presentation on how animals see and interact with the world. My name is Emma Greenman, and it is my pleasure to be your presenter for this evening. For this assignment, I chose choice number 1, read a book. The book I chose for this assignment was Animals in Translation, Using the Mysteries of Autism to Decode Animal Behavior by Temple Grandin and Katherine Johnson. By reading this book, it was my intention to better understand the relationship between animals and humans. However, along with a better understanding of this relationship, I also got a better understanding of how animals interact with their environment and a better understanding of their behaviors as compared to humans. By using the visual thinking nature of autism, Temple Grandin can closely study animal behavior, decipher that behavior, and compare it to human behavior. Animals in Translation explores many themes involving animal behavior as it compares to normal human behavior and to autistic human behavior. In order to understand Animals in Translation, you have to understand Temple Grandin. The book starts off by Temple Grandin giving the reader background information about her life and the many influences of her life that allowed her to create this book. There are 2 quotes from this chapter that perfectly describe Temple Grandin and her creation of this book. Animals in Translation came out of the 40 years I've spent with animals. Autism is a kind of way station on the road from animals to humans, which puts autistic people like me in a perfect position to translate animal talk into English. For those who do not know, Temple Grandin is a world-renowned animal scientist and animal advocate. She lectures on both animal science and autism, inspiring families and autistic individuals. Temple Grandin has provided many inventions and methods that has changed the meatpacking industry and autistic therapy. Her restructure of chutes in the meatpacking has allowed plants to be more efficient, but more importantly, more humane. Her hug machine has been used in autistic therapy as a new way of calming patients. The next chapter focuses on how animals perceive the world. This chapter goes into detail about how animals see and how humans see. The 18 specific details that Temple Grandin looks for when inspecting a plant shoot to decipher an animal's panic behavior, and the other sensory organs an animal uses. How animals see versus how humans see. Animals see the world in detail, whereas humans see the world in a bigger picture. This may be because animals think in images, while humans think in words. Animals, especially prey animals, view the world through panoramic vision. This allows them to see objects behind them and to the side of them. Humans view the world using binocular vision, where each of our eyes see objects at a slightly different angle. Animals have a visual streak, which is a line across the back of the retina of the eye, whereas humans have a foeva, or a round spot in the back of the eye. Animals have night vision, and humans have color vision. Animals are mostly dichromatic, seeing 2 colors, where humans are trichromatic, seeing 3 colors. Because animals see in detail and tend to pay more attention to details than humans, Temple Grandin created a list of details to look for when trying to determine the reason a livestock animal would balk or stop in the chute. This includes sparkling reflections of puddles, reflections of smooth metal, chains that jiggle, metal clanging or banging, high-pitched noise, air hissing, air drafts blowing on approaching animals, cloth hung on fence, piece of plastic that moves, slow fan blade movement, seeing people moving up ahead, small object on the floor, changes in flooring and texture, drain grate on floor, sudden changes in the color of equipment, chute entrance too dark, bright light such as blinding sun, one-way or anti-backup gate. These details are obvious to animals because they pay attention to small details. Because Temple Grandin sees in pictures like animals, she is able to find the issue with a chute within minutes of looking at it. Unlike her and the animals, the handlers tend not to notice the details and try to focus on the bigger picture. Because of this, the handlers could not find a reason for animals bulking. Humans are mainly visual animals. We see in more color and have better visual acuity than most animals, so we don't need to rely on a lot of sense organs like animals do. There are two different things going on with extreme perception in animals. One is the different set of sense organs animals have, and the other is a different way of processing sense data in the brain. In order to demonstrate this extreme perception, two examples are given about sense organs that are not related to vision. The first example is seismic communication. Seismic communication is using seismic energy vibration to create sense signals through the earth to other animals of the same species. It is that seismic communication is used by elephants based on the anatomical structure of their feet and trunks. The second example is pheromone signaling pathways. Pheromone signaling pathways involves chemicals released that exhibit a smell that triggers a specific response. This can be seen in the comparison of New World and Old World primates. Old World primates are dichromatic, so they rely on pheromones to find a mate. New World primates are trichromatic, so they no longer have to rely on pheromones to find a mate and have lost some ability to decipher pheromones. Chapter 3 involves animal feelings and how they express them. This chapter examines the four core primal emotions and the four core social emotions that both animals and humans experience. The four core primal emotions are rage, prey, chase, drive, fear and curiosity, interest/anticipation. Rage, prey, chase, drive, and fear are examined more in the next chapters. This chapter most examines curiosity and the social emotions. Rage is often seen in forms of aggression, and is a survival response against a potential threat. Prey chase drive is a predator's overwhelming drive to chase prey and is often triggered by moving objects. Fear helps an animal stay alive. Unlike humans, animals do not display the same Freudian defense mechanism, which includes projection, displacement, repression, and denial. Curiosity is well examined in this chapter. As everyone knows, curiosity is the desire to learn and explore. All animals are curious about their environments and will often investigate and explore their environment. Exploring their environment helps animals learn about their environment, including the dangers of their environment. It has been seen and is explained in this chapter that the seeking part of the brain is located in the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus also houses the responses for hunger and pleasure. When stimulated, the hypothalamus produces dopamine, which generates joy. So curiosity is seen to create joy in both humans and animals. The four core social emotions are sexual attraction and lust, separation distress, social attachment, and play and roughhousing. Sexual attraction and lust are important for both animals and humans because sex is such a strong drive for both. When it comes to breeding, and even selective breeding, sexual attraction and lust should always be taken into consideration by breeders. Separation distress is the stress reaction that is created when an animal or person is separated from a loved one. It is so stressful for animals that certain animals generate a distinct cry when they are separated from their loved ones. When comparing separation distress to humans, it has been seen that animals have a similar neurological reaction to humans. For humans, it is important to note that separation distress is linked to shame, guilt, and even embarrassment, which generate the same neurological reaction. Social attachment. Animals become attached to other animals. It has been seen that animals, like humans, form friendships based on behavior, and that parents express love for their children. Play and roughhousing. Animals love to play, and we currently have no idea why. A theory proposed by Temple Grandin suggests that because animals have a less developed frontal cortex, they like to play. It is theorized that play fighting is practice fighting, but that is not always the case. Animals enjoy playing and even take turns playing each role in the fight. Chapter 4 examines animal aggression. It examines two of the four primal core emotions. Those emotions include rage and chase drive. This chapter examines types of animal aggression, animal violence, and how to prevent aggression. There are seven types of aggression examined. Assertive aggression, which includes dominance and territorial aggression, is aggression to protect one's position and environment. Fear-driven aggression is a rage-based aggression that is used as a survival response. Pain-based aggression is when pain triggers aggression. Intermere aggression, which is linked to testosterone. Irritable or stress-induced aggression, which is aggression triggered by a stressful environment. Mixed aggression is where there is more than one trigger for the aggression. And finally, pathological aggression, which is the result of medical conditions. Animal violence. Many animals can be horrifically violent for no reason, it seems, other than the sheer desire to kill and maybe even torture. Like humans, animals are and can be violent. It is not known why animals are violent. Temple Grandin theorizes it may be the result of the side effect of a complex brain, but we don't know for certain. Like humans, most violence is committed by adolescent males. Many believe that an immature brain is the reason most violence is committed by adolescent males. Preventing aggression. To prevent aggression, two actions are essential. Make sure the animal is properly socialized to other animals, and make sure the animal is properly socialized to people. Animals and humans are social creatures. In order to prevent aggression, animals must be properly socialized. One particular issue is with pack animals. There is a hierarchy with pack animals where there is one alpha. In order to prevent aggression, an alpha must be established. For humans and animal relationships, the human needs to establish that they are the alpha, or else the animal will. Along with establishing dominance, it is important to prevent pack mentality for family pets, or it can cause aggressive behavior between pets. When aggressive behavior first appears, it is important to immediately eliminate. If it is not immediately dealt with, it will make it harder to deal with later on and will make it seem like acceptable behavior for the animal to have. Chapter 5 examines pain and suffering in animals. This chapter illustrates the fear core primal emotion. This chapter examines pain responses, fear responses, and how the brain responds to fear. Some animals exhibit the following pain responses. Some animals will exhibit pain masking or hiding their pain, while others completely change their behavior, such as rocking or laying down. A lot of animals do practice pain guarding as well, or limiting injured limbs from becoming more injured by not using them or not putting weight on them. Pain is also associated with high frontal lobe activity in both humans and animals. Unlike pain, fear response is different for animals and humans. For humans, most humans would rather be afraid than in pain, but for animals, they would rather be in pain than afraid. This is associated with frontal lobe control. Animals have lower frontal lobe control, which allows them to have more control over pain and less control over fear. For humans, it is the opposite. Because animals are visual expression causes them more fear than auditory expression, such as the deer in the headlights. Animals learn fear from observing their environment, but a lot of fear is inherited. The frontal lobe stops fear using two different methods. Method 1. Hormone response. Frontal lobe signals the amygdala to stop producing a fear response. The amygdala is responsible for signaling the pituitary gland to produce stress hormones. The prefrontal cortex signals the pituitary gland to stop producing stress hormones. Method 2. Language. This method is easier for humans to use because humans think in words, not pictures. It's easier for a human to talk themselves down than it is for an animal to use visual cues to calm themselves. Chapter 6 examines how animals think. This chapter examines animal intelligence and animal cognition along with animal welfare. True cognition is not an instinctual thing. It is something that is learned. It is considered problem solving under new circumstances. The main question asked is, do animals have true cognition? Through experimentation, it has been seen that some species do have true cognition and can exhibit problem-solving skills. Animals can learn things as well, but not in the same way humans can. It has been seen that animals can exhibit trial and error learning and will repeat the method with the best outcome. But a lot of the time, most animals follow patterns or sequencing as a result of their limited working memory. This chapter also examined animal welfare and Temple Grandin's welfare audit list. She has 5 key measurements, as listed on the slide, that she looks for at a plant. She also has 5 things that she looks for that results in a plant automatically failing their welfare checkup. The final chapter examined animal geniuses. Most animals have superhuman skills like this. Animals have animal genius. Birds are navigation geniuses. Dogs are smell geniuses. Eagles are visual geniuses. It can be anything. Animals exhibit genius in particular areas, such as brain being navigation geniuses, so animals are specialists. Humans exhibit overall intelligence, where they excel in multiple areas, so humans are generalists. The main strength of this book was that it had a lot of information and referenced a lot of good sources that readers can look at. The main weakness of this book was the flow of topics. It would jump from subject to subject and then back to the first subject. It was choppy. So, in conclusion, there are 7 key themes I want everyone to take away from this presentation. Temple Grandin is an autistic animal scientist and animal advocate who uses the way she processes that information to translate animal behavior for everyone else to better understand. Animals see the world in detail while humans tend to look at the bigger picture. Animals use more than their vision to interact and interpret the world. Like humans, animals have and express emotion, although not in the same way as humans. And like humans, animals can be violent, yet they tend to have reason for aggressive behaviors that can be categorized. Because of the lower control of their frontal lobes, animals have more control over pain than over fear. Thus, animals would rather be in pain than afraid. Animals learn differently from humans. Animals learn sequences as a result of limited working memory. Animals have specialized genius, while humans have general genius. Thank you all. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.